Apple Creator Studio just dropped, and I've got the inside scoop on everything Pixelmator Pro, including some stuff that I'm pretty sure other reviewers aren't going to be talking about. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. And by let's jump into it, I mean let's jump into, I think for the first time on this channel, an iPad app. That's right, Pixelmator Pro is finally coming to the iPad, and I'm very excited to give you a first look at all of the features that it has. When you first jump into it, it looks very familiar, especially for those of us that have been using Pixelmator for a while. If I come in here and do Create Document, I have a bunch of familiar templates. I'm going to come down here to the mockup library, and I'm going to pick this t-shirt mockup. Once I'm in the editor, things also look very familiar. On the right-hand side, I have my Tools panel, including things like color adjustments, which I've come to expect. I've got familiar and favorite tools like Super Resolution, one of my favorite AI-powered features. But we're going to come over here to start to the Layers panel. Now, over here in the Layers panel, we've got some new stuff to look at, but we've also got some familiar stuff that I think actually makes more sense on the iPad version than the Mac version, like, for example, being able to take a photo to insert a new layer. It's one of those things that just makes sense. You've got this great camera on your iPad, why wouldn't you be able to just insert directly from it? Now, in my Layers panel, one thing that you might notice is the brand new tool that I think all of us have been asking for a while, which is the Warp tool. Now, the way that Apple has chosen to implement the Warp tool is extremely thoughtful. For example, you'll notice that the Warp tool is actually a layer group. That means that you can put any other layer type directly within it, you can mask them all together, and they will all uniformly be warped at the same time, which is really powerful. I want to show you some of the cool and interesting things you can do with it. So in this example, the layer that they've chosen to include for the template is one of my favorites, a placeholder layer. They have this logo that the placeholder layer supplies, but I can just tap the plus button and do Replace from Files. I've got this logo here that's from another YouTube channel that I've been working on. You can go check that out after this video. And you can see that it immediately drops it into the mockup, and it even fits in a seamless fashion. It feels like it's actually part of the image. But to show you the power of the Warp tool at play here, I can grab it and I can just run it along the bottom of the shirt, and you can see how the design is really curving to fit the contours of the shirt. Now, just because Apple has included it in this template doesn't mean we have to be ignorant as to how it's working. I can tap Edit Warp, and you can actually see the grid illustrating how they're taking a 2D image and bending it along a 3D surface. This becomes even more apparent if I turn off the grid lines, and you can actually see the control points along the bottom here that they've used to shape the contour to match the shape of the rocks. Now, I'm pretty happy with where that logo landed, so I'm going to go ahead and close it up. And then, because Pixelmator Pro is also available on my Mac, I'm just going to pick up right where I left off. So I'm just going to go ahead and open it directly. So I want to come in here, change the color to be a little bit more on brand with our YouTube channel. And then from the Mac version, I have access to one of the few sets of features that aren't available in the iPad version, which is some of the advanced export options. Now, hopefully this gives you an idea of how powerful the Warp tool is, but let me give you one more example that also illustrates how all of the tools in Apple Creator Studio can play nicely together. Apple Creator Studio not only provides access to Final Cut, Logic, and Pixelmator, but it also provides cool new features for the iWork suite, so Keynote, Pages, and Numbers, and it provides something new called the Content Hub. If I come up here to Insert, I can go to Browse Content Hub, and you can see that this is basically a stock photo library, but curated and high quality in the way that you would expect an Apple stock photo library to be. Now, it's unfortunate that this isn't available directly in Pixelmator Pro, but that doesn't mean I can't use the features of Pixelmator Pro with these photos. I'm going to come here to the Sports and Recreation section. I like this particular photo, so I'm going to go ahead and select it. And then once I have it on my slideshow, I can press Command-C to copy, switch over to Pixelmator Pro, and press Command-N to create a new document, and there it is, available on my clipboard. Once it's in here, I can do all of the powerful things I would expect to be able to do in Pixelmator Pro. I can duplicate the layer, remove the background, insert a new layer from a file, rearrange the layers, and then come up here to Format and apply the warp tool. This time I'm going to use the twist. I'm going to edit the twist and I'm going to bend it the opposite direction to try to match the flow of the wave. And then I can click Make Editable to expose the control points. And so I want this in to maybe come in a little bit more to match the flow of the wave, and then click Done. And I'm pretty happy with that. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how all of these apps and all of their powerful features can play nicely together. For the sake of time, I'm not going to do a deep dive, but I do actually already have masterclass videos on Pixelmator that are very applicable, and I'm going to be producing new masterclass videos specifically for the iPad version. So if you'd like early access to those, you can go ahead and support me on Patreon, or if you want them when they come available to the public, you can just subscribe here on YouTube. All right, so the last thing that we need to cover with the Apple Creator Studio is how you get access to it. It's actually interesting, if I come down here to the dock, you can see that I have two versions of every app that's part of Apple Creator Studio. And that's because the standalone existing versions and these new subscription versions are going to live side by side. So for those of you that are watching that have already purchased Pixelmator Pro or Final Cut Pro, those are going to continue to live on, and they're going to continue to receive updates alongside the Apple Creator Studio versions. What that doesn't mean is that they'll get features released at the same time. In fact, if you want access to the iPad version and you want access to the new warp tool, you have to subscribe to Apple Creator Studio. Before you run into the comments claiming that it's greedy for Apple to take this path, I just want to point out how nice it is that the standalone versions are going to continue to exist. Apple didn't have to go this route, and I've even had confirmation that both Apple will continue to update them and that they're not going to be riddled with pop-ups trying to convince you to constantly upgrade to the subscription version. There is one major con that I am concerned about, especially if you're working with a team of people, and that is if you are working in the Apple Creator Studio version and you're using tools that aren't available in the standalone version, those documents are not going to be compatible. So for a lot of you working as an indie creator, that's not going to be an issue, but it is something that you're going to have to pay attention to. Now, the other thing I want to address before you go running to the comments is, what about Photomator? And it's true, at this point, Photomator is not included in Apple Creator Studio. And in fact, Apple didn't even make a statement about Photomator today, which I know has some of you screaming it's going to be integrated into the Photos app on the OS. Maybe, that might be the future, but Apple also didn't make a statement about GarageBand or iMovie or other apps that they have, and that doesn't mean they're going away either. So I don't know. I'm going to remain optimistic that maybe come WWDC this summer, we'll hear more about what's happening with Photomator, especially since it's currently its own separate subscription. Which, speaking of subscriptions, let's talk about pricing for a minute. When you open the Apple Creator Studio versions, you're going to be presented with options with which tier you want to purchase. I just want to point out that before you go making this purchase, there are still great options for the standalone version. There's an education bundle for Final Cut Pro and Logic. There are free trials you can download from Apple's website of Final Cut Pro and Logic. And buying Pixelmator on its own is a great deal as well. So make sure you're considering those as you're looking at these subscription tiers. The one thing that I will call out as a wholehearted recommendation, if you are a student and you have access to the educational pricing, the annual pricing for Apple Creator Studio is an unbelievable deal. And so if you're looking for the best value way to get access to the full breadth of features, that is far and away it, and I can wholeheartedly recommend it. All right, that's it for Apple Creator Studio. If you want a deeper dive on the Warp tool or the iPad version, make sure you support me on Patreon to get early access on those videos, or subscribe so you can get those when they come out for everybody else. And as always, let me know in the comments below what you think I got wrong or what questions I didn't answer for you. All right, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.